Hello! Alright, here's another attempt at making a Balatro video. Let's see how it goes. I just finished a fun run on Painted Deck. I'll show the jokers I had. It's very ridiculous. And I'll show the deck I had. It was very silly. This deck started out as an 8-ball run, believe it or not. I had a good number of 8s going. Only about, I think I only got up to 5 or 6 at a time in my whole deck, but it was enough to get my deck fixing online with a hanging job and blueprint. Anyhow, let's move on to a new run. Anglip deck, not one of my favorites. You'll notice that there's a lot more deck options. This is largely because I'm playing with the multiplayer mod installed, but it doesn't affect gameplay in any way. I'm going to skip the Anglip deck. It's not one I particularly enjoy playing. Probably I would go Plasma deck. Maybe I'm feeling like playing my favorite deck, which is Ghost deck. Probably very basic for saying that, but I'm definitely a huge fan of Ghost deck. I think having access to Spectral cards in the shop is a really cool feature. I wish I could more easily combine that with other decks, but, you know, the Cocktail deck was introduced in multiplayer, so maybe I should play around more with that. Be cool to see that on Plasma in particular. Ghost deck and Plasma combined, that is. Alright, let's get started on a gold stick run. Okay, so looking at the tags here, neither of these are particularly interesting to me. Holographic is a good addition. The problem with simply taking this, particularly when you're not, let's see, what is it? Shops can have perishable jokers. Orange Stake. Orange Stake really makes these particular types of skips, the holographic and the foil tag, both quite not quite as useful. That also goes for the polychrome and negative and etc. All right, so we're going to go ahead and play at the small line. Already right off the bat, we seem to have access to both a potential straight and ace high straight, or as you'll see, I call it a gay here in the UI. But I think we just go for the flush. These are really high cards for the flush already, and all we need is maybe a 5 or higher on the hearts. Missing the flush so far. Okay, cool. We get the one shot. Just by a little bit. In case you're curious, in order to hit 300 points on the ante-1 small blind, you need a total of 40 chips in your hand for a flush. That's just a rule of thumb that I keep in mind. So normally what you do is you look in the buffoon pack and you go, okay, well, let's pick one of the two jokers. But we do actually have pretty interesting jokers already before us. So let's take a look at the boss blind. Discard 2 random cards. This is a pretty brutal one. That does... So normally I would feel incentivized to go towards the Droll Joker. And maybe I still feel incentivized to go towards the Droll Joker. But I think the popcorn is generally safer for getting through this boss. And I don't really want to take the risk on this. Even though the popcorn is perishable, this is a particularly brutal boss when it comes to actually drawing your hand. I don't know that I can reliably draw a flush with how few discards we have, thanks to the blue stake. I think I'm gonna, for that reason, even though it makes my hex worse, I am gonna take the popcorn and go next. I know offhand that a pair of queens with 20 molt is going to beat this. I actually mostly know that because of half choker specifically. I do think we look in the buffoon pack. So the reason to not look in the buffoon pack is basically just to save money, right? You want to get closer to $25. You want to get as much interest as you possibly can. But the reason to look in the buffoon pack is this is perishable. This is going away pretty fast. Not only is it perishable, but it diminishes in the score help that it's going to be giving us very quickly. And so we actually need a new Joker to not only replace it with, but maybe even just to support it while we still have it. We'll probably sell it when it's at formal, but it's neither here nor there until we get there. Let's open up the buffoon pack. So, of these Jokers, here's what sticks out to me. These two are neither perishable nor eternal. I think the Sly Joker is doing more value for us right now, but the Blackboard could be more value for us long term. So why take one or the other? Blackboard is a really powerful Molt Joker. Early on, it's not too powerful, but later, once you get some deck fixing online, it can be incredibly powerful, just for the consistency alone. It's actually not that hard, as so long as you're playing something like high card or pairs. Pairs probably being the easier hand to play, if I'm being honest. Don't know for sure off the top of my head. Be interesting to look into the math behind that, but this is very powerful, and I do think we can get it to actually work pretty immediately. So maybe that's a good reason to take this. Because we could just play pairs and then we win pretty quickly. Sly Joker. Sly Joker is really good if we have a Molt Joker. So you might say, oh, we'll take the Zany Joker, right? That's Molt. Well, look at the boss blind. Discard 2 random cards. It's very unlikely that we're actually going to be able to draw 3 of a kind, let alone in this particular boss blind. 3 of a kind is very hard to draw without some major deck fixing. So I don't think this is a viable replacement for the popcorn, even though I would consider, say, I would be more inclined to take something like, say, a Jolly Joker, the Jolly Jimbo, as it were. Between these two, I think this is going to be more powerful now, and this is going to be more powerful later. I think this is powerful enough now that we can go ahead and take it, though. Especially because we can immediately hex it as soon as we find a replacement for the popcorn. Sad that we don't get the overstock, but I'm not too upset about it. We're not going to take the tower because the tower actually does not work with Blackboard. It's something that kind of frustrates me. I wish it did. But I guess one way you could look at it is that like the intuitive way this reads to me, as far as like how it's coded, is that if you're not holding hearts or diamonds, then you get ×3. But it does specifically say if all cards held in hand are spades or clubs. And so a stone card does not actually belong to a suit. It will retain like the memory of what card it was before, but while it is stone, it will not count as any suit outside of like the way some of the sorting works when you look at your deck. So I don't think the tower's very powerful, right? I mean, it's powerful, right? It's chips to go with our mold, but it's not good for our Blackboard. And so for that reason, and especially because I don't think we need it, because it sets us another $3 behind our $25 goal, I do think we pass on the tower. Let's go next. Okay, so right away, I see a pair of queens that we can win with, so let's discard our diamonds. And this should be enough. In fact, we can maybe account for the Supernova as a potential replacement and play the pairs specifically here. That should work. We could calculate it, but I'm pretty confident in this. Cool. Okay, so we're probably going to get about 1,000 points next round. There we go. We found a replacement for the popcorn. I was just talking about the Jolly Joker. It's a lot easier to hit pairs than it is to hit three of a kind. I think this is a good opportunity to go ahead and get out of the popcorn. Part of the reason for that being not only do we have the hex available to use, we'll literally be able to break even since 8 times 1.5 is 12. But it's just a much more viable like flat mole option early on. So I do think we get out of popcorn, we hex our blackboard, and then we pick up Jolly Jimbo. Let's go next. Okay, so let's discard our diamonds and hearts. Let's do this. Okay, so I was correct. It's about 1,000. It's not going to one-shot the next round, but it will two-shot it. So Astronomer normally doesn't get me super excited, but we are in need of two things. One thing is we're in need of chips. And potentially we can get chips out of a Mercury by opening the Celestial Pack. Even without the Astronomer here, I think it's worth considering the Celestial Pack just for the possibility of getting a Mercury. It makes you so much stronger if you do hit. That being said, Astronomer is a value generator. It generates money, not only by picking up cards in the shop, but simply by getting you chips. It operates somewhere in between being a very weak value generator and a very powerful chips joker. Depending on how you look at it. Or like not very powerful chips joker, but like a medium chips joker, right? It's not at the same level that, say, Burnt Joker is, where you, well, just taking a look at the collection just to demonstrate. It's not quite the power level of, say, oh, I literally get a level every single round, no matter what. Particularly when you're going pairs. It's not quite that. But it is pretty close. It's closer to the power level of Spaceman, plus it gives you a little bit of actual like money in the form of being able to buy and sell planet cards. So I do think we're going to go ahead and pick up the Astronomer. We hope to see a Mercury because that'll enable us to one-shot the next round, but I'm not going to be too upset if we don't. We hold on to the Saturn card for a second to block it from appearing in the Celestial Pack. It gives us a slightly higher chance of picking up the Mercury. So let's see. And what do you know? We do hit the Mercury, so we should be able to one-shot the next round. I am going to hold on to the Saturn card. I would sell it if it hit an interest threshold, but currently it does not. So I think we can go ahead and move on. Okay. So I think the pair of twos is a little weak. I think we need to discard for a higher pair. And that should be good enough. So notably, why skip the twos? When I say it's too weak, I mean like our pair level is so small that having, say, these queens, they each add 10 chips. It's about a ×2 to our overall score, which is a lot more powerful than, say, a times 1.2, which is what the twos might have offered us. All right, no reason to discard further. I think we go ahead and just play it. This should one-shot. And it looks like we will one-shot the next round as well if we can go ahead and hit another queen. This is really good to see on the Astronomer. Or rather, when we have the Astronomer. These planets are not as interesting. I will take a Pluto and maybe a Uranus. Maybe you're supposed to take a Venus because that allows you to throw away more cards. The Uranus is easier to hit, and with some deck fixing will be better. So I think the Uranus is probably the way to go. Sure. Okay. Next question. Do you take the voucher? I think here it is okay, but probably taking the voucher leads to a loss. And here's what I mean. It sets you $10 behind. Not only is that losing $2 of interest per round, but that is losing compounding interest, as $15 is a lot easier to get to $25 in multiple ways. Not only is it like linearly closer, but it's quadratically closer, somewhat, by the fact that you do get money for the more money you have. It compounds. So I do think we want to skip on this, because the sooner we get to 25, the sooner we can do upstairs value generation that doesn't require us relying on our jokers so much for the value generation. For the same reason, I think we go ahead and skip on the standard pack. I would maybe take it if I could beat an interest threshold with this Saturn card, right? Like if we were, say, at 18, I might pick up the standard pack and then sell the Saturn card. But because we're not, I'm going to go ahead and just go to the next round, because we can also one-shot. We're pretty darn safe. So we definitely want to get rid of those. And this should one-shot. Okay. Alright. Sorry, I was taking a drink. I think Square Joker's interesting. So, thoughts. We're an anti-free. Let's take a look at the boss find as well. We really, really, really want to play pairs into this. I might be willing to skip. It's a little late to skip for the top-up tag, but the top-up tag is one of the best tags that you can get this early on. I don't think we need the Square Joker. It's pretty good. It makes it slightly harder to blackboard, but not ridiculously harder. As you could see, even in the last round, we only needed to play 3 cards. So playing 4 cards was not that big an issue. That being said, I think this is a little too slow for where we're at. The Astronomer is probably going to help us get our Mercuries fine enough, especially if we can get another planet card upstairs. I might be a little bit concerned about my long-term potential. Maybe I pick up a Chariot in hopes of getting a Steel Joker down the line. There's also this question of, do we take the Hieroglyph? I don't think we need the Hieroglyph right now. But I might be willing to take it, especially if we're not doing something like Square Joker. Anyhow. This is a $4 Chariot. Do I think a $4 Chariot is worth it? It's not value generating immediately. It's good on Blackboard. Let's save our money and open up the packs in the next shop. When we have more money, when we have value generation online. This will not one-shot, but we should be able to hit a 2-shot. That's the other reason why I think like the Square Man is a little suspicious. Because like while we can make it to where we can always like get value off of it, in terms of we can use up all of our hands by holding onto a card, it's very rough to be relying on, say, a final hand and knowing like, oh, that you're not going to draw something that forces you to play a 2-pair, which we really, really, really don't want when we're trying to play pairs over and over again, particularly with the upcoming boss in mind. So let's go ahead and cash out. This is pretty good. It's a little bad. It's a little bad with this in mind. I think the banner is okay. Let's go ahead and look in the Celestial packs first. Mercury's really good. Barring a Mercury, I'm okay with a Pluto. And I do think we pick up the banner for some extra chips. Play the pair of tens. That actually manages to one-shot this particular blind, which is pretty good. Free Mercury card. Very happy to take. This Hex we can't use because it'll destroy our other Jokers. We already have a Polychrome Joker that we're not getting rid of. Let's go ahead and maybe... Do we roll once? I think the reason to roll is partially just to like pick up another planet card before opening up the Celestial pack. I think the reason to not roll is to pick up a voucher in the next shop. I don't think we're going back in time. Let's go ahead and pick up the Celestial pack. Okay. Sad that we missed on the Mercury, but guess we are building a backup with high card. Let's go ahead and look in here, and that'll leave us with enough money to get the voucher in the next shop. I think we want the Emperor most of all. Pluto doesn't help us. Justice doesn't really help us. We would like some deck fixing. If I knew I was getting chips, I would take the wheel, but I don't. Or if I was getting Polychrome. Or rather, I should say, if I knew the wheel would hit, I would probably take it, but I don't. These are both very good. This will help us with our deck fixing. This will help us do some value generation. Ideally, we play it on some spades and clubs because we want to copy those more. I think we go next. All right, the plus 20, I think, is what allowed us to actually get out of there. Could have calculated the score. Maybe you could have told me more. Let's go ahead and buy the High Priestess. It raises our chances of getting a Mercury. We do see the Director's Cut, which is pretty good. I will take that right away. Let's open this up. Okay. We're not too upset to see that. We are upset to not see a Mercury again. That is unfortunate. I will go ahead and buy this for a little bit of value generation. As in, like, picking it up and selling it is the value generation I'm speaking of. I think making more black cards is probably a good idea. It's weird because, like, this is blue. I could call them dark cards, but it's like it's almost a light blue. So I don't know. Maybe I need my eyes checked or something, but it feels weird calling them black cards and red cards. Maybe I think I want the Hermit. And I think this death isn't doing anything. It's kind of a question of, do I take the Judgment or the World? Before I take the Hermit. I want to make my decision before I do that. And I think with the open Joker slot, we didn't have anything left in the shop. So let's go ahead and take the Judgment. That's not too bad. We can maybe hit this. Take the money and go once. All right, let's go next. We can play the pair of sevens. I don't think this wins, but it gets us somewhere. It gets us somewhere. Okay. That's unfortunate. Maybe we play high card because I do actually want the value off of it. Oh, that did it. Okay, high card value for the win. Okay. Yeah, we probably do that, don't we? And by that I mean this obelisk. So with that in mind, we probably want to go ahead and start taking pretty much all the levels we got. If we're doing obelisk, we can't really do delayed gratification. Let's look in the buffoon pack first. Maybe we get something better to look at. This sells for more. Neither of them are better than the obelisk or the other jokers I have. We can roll once. We need to save some of our money. Okay. These aren't very good tarot cards, I will say. I'm going to save our money because of the boss blind coming up. Let's go ahead and go next. And even though we just picked up the obelisk, I don't think we're going to start scaling it just yet. I think we start scaling it soon, but not just yet. Let's play the pair of threes. Let's put this stuff in the back. And the reason I'm doing this is because I just want to make a bit more room to play other hands. I don't want to be crunched too much. It's going to be a little bit hard to work in the obelisk when we're playing a blackboard run, but it's not going to be impossible. So here, I think we open the Arcana pack first. We have 3 tarot cards. We want to maybe get something that's not in this pool. I do want to take the devil, but I don't want to see the star appear again in the Arcana pack. The Emperor is okay. Maybe the wild card is more valuable. Maybe 2 brand new tarot cards is more valuable. These are pretty valuable. I don't think we need the Hierophant. I think we can take the Devil. And then looking at the boss, I think we just go next. Let's start off by hanging some red 3s. Seems about right. Okay. I'm just thinking it through. And then let's play the pair of 10s. Maybe we go here. Okay. Let's play the pair of kings. Let's put a devil on here. Let's play the pair of 7s. And then we have the pair of jacks. Okay. Lost a little bit of money there, but it's fine. We got out of it. I think having an extra hand is beautiful here, and we can go ahead and start taking We can go ahead and start building up the obelisk. Let's go ahead and take a Venus card here. We're doing pretty good on fixing our deck. We need a little bit more oomph in the form of Hungman's, Worlds, and gosh, what's the moon for these? The blue Joker is going to be a bit more reliable than the banner. Think we can roll once. That's pretty good. Think we can roll again. Okay, let's go next. Let's play the 2-pair. We're going to start leveling up the obelisk. Let's look for a flush, actually. And then play it. Because even though it doesn't get that, it levels up our obelisk. We can play this 2-pair. Okay, so we go ahead and buy the high card. We go ahead and look in the Celestial pack. We don't want more Mercury, so I will take more high card value. Ultimately, this is probably what we want to play like into the final boss blind. That or 4 of a kind, 5 of a kind, stuff like that. Well, what is our current boss blind? It is 1 in 7 cards get drawn face down. That's a little spooky. That's a little spooky on Blackboard. I don't know if I've run into this situation before, but that feels a little spooky. So what? Why is it spooky, right? In case it's not already obvious, the reason it's spooky is that in order to play with the Blackboard, I need to know that every card in my hand, like after I play my hand, is just going to be a black card. If it's not a black card, then the Blackboard doesn't work, right? You get our 1.5 molt, but we don't get our times 3 molt. And missing information is going to make it harder to play that. So I don't think we need this buffoon pack. I think we're pretty good on like what we're looking at. We just need to level up the obelisk. I think maybe we pick up an Empress and roll once. Definitely take the high card level. Maybe we can get away with a gay here. Not played any gays. Okay. We want to get rid of the red cards. Let's play a 2-pair here. Okay, nice. Getting the lucky card value. I think we play another gay, especially because it gets rid of all the red cards. We have the extra hand, which is why like I'm playing these not so high scoring hands. It's because we just want to level up the obelisk. It's going. If you don't already know this, obelisk is one of the most powerful scaling jokers in the game. Like it can be very run defining, to say the least. I think we search for a. Maybe we search for a flush or a 2-pair like this one. Okay. We're avoiding playing the high card because I want to be able to spam the high card when I need to. I don't have the mod that lets me see the like boss blind history, but I believe we played against the one that forces you to play the same hand. Hand type. Let's roll once. That's pretty good. This is pretty good. can roll again. This we buy and we sell. Vampire. Vampire's okay. It's powerful. In this deck, it's not very powerful. Let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is at most a 1.5 in the current deck we're playing with. And that is not good, especially when one of those is gold and 2 of those are lucky. Because I really like my value generators. I don't really have any strong value generators up here. This is the closest I have. And this is operating more as like a supplemental scaling Chips Joker. Let's maybe look in here. Preferably looking for something like a Lucky Cat. I think we want the Cartomancer over the Astronomer. Get us a bit more of our deck fixing. Maybe we hit the world, maybe we hit the moon, get rid of more of these diamonds and hearts. So let's first sell, buy, or yeah, first buy, sell, and then buy. Okay. And then I don't think we roll again. We save our money for the next shop, particularly the voucher. Slightly punished, of course, for not taking the... Oh gosh, what's it called? The vampire. Because it does combo with the Cartomancer pretty well. Just getting tarot card generation, you get these enhancements, and that works really well with the vampire. Problem is, we just don't have that many Joker slots. So I think here we go ahead and discard a bunch of red cards. That's a little spooky. Right, so here, let's start off by using Aura. It's pretty good. And then I think we play this. Yeah. Okay. And then we play the flush, maybe? Let's use the Hierophant. Don't use the Hierophant. Okay. The Jolly Joker is falling off in value, by the way. Or like, it's falling off in how much it actually helps her score. Not by much. But in terms of the high card, obviously, it literally does nothing. And then, like, we don't need it for the most part. We can drop it if there's something that, like, we see that's really valuable. I do really want this voucher. This allows us to roll a bit more deeply, maybe make some better decisions. Let's go ahead and take the Celestial Pack. We do want to continue leveling up 2-pair. The 2-pair is very valuable. With barring when we don't have a high card. This is not good. So let's skip this one. We can roll probably twice. We sell the Hierophant. What? Okay, so one could say I'm punished for not using the Hierophant, right, in the last round. And I would say I think the Hierophant did its job. Because what the Hierophant actually did, value-wise, is it blocked itself from appearing again so that I could actually find something that's slightly more useful, like a world. A world is going to keep our blackboard online more often. Particularly what I want to hit are top cards, so maybe Ace through 9 and both the hearts and diamonds. Hopefully. I think we go ahead and sell the Hierophant, because there are better tarot cards I could be getting off the Cartomancer. Maybe we keep this to the end and keep this to the end in order to get gold stickers on both of them. That'd be pretty nice. Does this have a gold sticker? It does. Huh. Alright. Let's go one more. That's pretty good. That's probably better than anything this could offer. Let's go ahead and go next. So I actually really like putting it on here. And then we can't play a pair. I think we discard looking for red cards to use the world on. Okay, so now we can do 2-pair. And that won immediately. That was apparently really strong. Mine as a perishable, probably not. It does not combo with the blackboard, even though feels like it maybe should. We maybe want to roll once. I'm not super interested in standard packs right now. We're particularly late into the run. The amount of like impact a card can make when we have a 50 card deck is a little low. I do think I want to roll. Also, just like with the fact that in playing Blackboard, that eliminates about or exactly half of the cards that we could potentially be taking, which is not great odds, if I'm being completely honest. It's kind of like looking at 1.5 cards rather than the actual 3 cards, which is not very good for the $4 it costs, especially compared to just re-rolling and finding a nice tarot card. We do like this. It's better for the value generation. I think we put it on a blackjack and copy it with the death, get another red card out of the deck, and just get more value generation online. These other options aren't terribly interesting to me. Okay, let's go ahead and go next. That's not very good. Probably didn't need to sell it just yet. Let's play the 2-pair. Play the 2-pair. And I think we search for 2-pair that allows me to hold on to the queen. Yeah. Soon we're going to start playing high card exclusively. We're not quite there yet. This is really good. We can do it on the king. That allows us to maybe hit like 4 of a kind sometimes, 3 of a kind at least. Let's look at here. I do think we want maybe more 3 of a kind, especially with the cryptid that we just picked up. Let's go next. This is a little spooky. I think we are obligated to reroll this boss, actually. Maybe I could just play high card into it, save my money. That sounds fairly reasonable. We do have a lot of hands. Sure. Spooky. Let's go ahead and play the 3 of a kind kings. Alright, cool. That did the job. And to be clear, like, we are barely scaling this obelisk at all. Usually in my obelisk runs, I'm getting somewhere like ×6. I'm just not really trying that hard to optimize for it. Let's look at our boss blind. That's spooky as frick. Let's go Mars mode. We're going to try and find an opportunity to use this strength. We would ideally like to use it on some queens. To go with our kings. I don't mind using it on some jacks. Yeah. And then we hang the red 9s. And then we hang the red 10s. Go Nacho Tongue. Here I think we're... Oh, well, we could just reroll this boss. Yeah, we probably will. Let's put the Justice on the 4, trying to break it. Let's play the Gay, just to optimize our obelisk a little bit more. Play a high card. Play a flush. Probably don't need to do that, by the way. I'm just like taking the opportunities to get extra chips where I can. I do think we take the Hung Man, even though we're not seeing multiple red cards. We can still just get rid of our lower end, and the one red card we do see, deck fixing, as it turns out, is really good. Let's go into the next pack. Maybe we simply spade it up. I think that's pretty reasonable. Get our deck very consistent in terms of like being able to always have Blackboard online. This would be very good right now. It's better than anything we get death. There's the potential for Wheel of Fortune. I think the spades are just better for the sake of consistency. For that reason, let's use the world on these red cards. Maybe we want to re-roll once. I think with the rental, it's okay to just pass on it. Let's go next. Especially when we need to save our money for re-rolling the boss. Okay. Let's start by discarding these. Let's start by also discarding these. Maybe we play the strength on here, make more kings, and then play a 4 of a kind. This will be our first 4 of a kind. We've leveled it up quite a few times, so there's plenty of investment in it. So we've got 7 kings in a 46 card deck. That's not too bad. We could definitely do better, but like it's, I've seen worse for sure. Let's see. We don't need this. It's not very good because we kind of removed our ability to do some of that between the strengths and the hungmen on the 10s, 9s, and the jacks. This is very late. If we had gotten it early on, this would fit great into the obelisk build, but as is, it's not good. So let's just look in here. Let's maybe take another strength. Let's reroll once. I think we can pass on that. We already have the gold sticker in this, so I don't care to really get it again. Let's reroll the boss. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. That should do it. I could have held the strength. I'm not trying to minimax too hard here. Rebate is great. I don't think we need it. We've already got the gold sticker on it. I'd like to get the gold stickers on these. Let's open up the Arcana pack. We took the voucher because we can. It helps with Cartomancer, especially. Definitely take the Hung Man. Makes it easier to hit our 4 of a kind. We should be able to hit the 4 of a kind pretty reliably now, if not at least 3 of a kind. Yeah, we're doing good. This is providing more value than this is currently. This is a 4.5 times Joker. This is a 5 times Joker. 5 is greater than 4.5. Let's roll once. We can level up the full house. I don't mind that. Let's go next. Okay, we definitely love to see Hung Man hang the 5 and the 2. Obviously, it makes our blue Joker worse, but that's fine. We could trade it out for something else, ultimately. Let's play high card. We wanted to break that. Our deck fixing has been very good for this blackboard, by the way. It's been quite incredible. Just how much we've been able to get online. I swear I play better when I record. Because I feel like I would have fumbled this run at some point if I wasn't recording. And I was like doing things more quickly. Let's go ahead and play the Kings. Let's maybe play high card 2 more times. Okay. Let's play the Kings. Since we can't play high card again without winning. Okay. Hungman, great. Let's go ahead and look in the Mega Arcana pack. We can take this. Money is pretty good. Chips would have been pretty good. I'll take money. I'd like to replace this. Maybe get something else to get a red gold seal on. Let's definitely level up the 4 of a kind since that seems to be our game plan. Yeah, I don't think we need that. Let's not take that. We already have the gold sticker on Michelle. Let's look next. Maybe we look in here. Those are pretty good. I think we could just go next. Wow. So starting off, we can hang the red cards. Discard. Maybe put some magic on these kings. And now we just play the high card a few times. Yeah, I think we could just play high card a couple times. I would like to find one of the red seals to copy with my death. This should win. Yeah. Cool. Okay. We can look in here. Sure. Doesn't really matter. Nothing we do really matters here. We're going to drag this to the left. That'll win. Gays are slightly harder to get online. Maybe I could take that, but this doesn't have a sticker on it at all, so I think we just skip. We got both these on gold stake. Okay. Let's see. We could take the to-do list. I think to-do list is a little easy to get on gold stake. To just get it working. So I don't want to hear. To-do list is an interesting joker. It can provide value when you need it, and doesn't need to provide value all the time to be worth it. Let's go next. Okay, so we're going to do this. I should have discarded first. Specifically to look for red cards, like this. we could do a fun play. Play the flush 5. Cool. Alright, so that was a good run. I always like to check, what it ended up being. So let's take a look at the deck and reevaluate, what went well, what went right. Right. So maybe the pivotal moment of this run was specifically making the decision to take the blackboard over the slide joker, I believe is what it's called. Don't know all the joker names offhand perfectly. Yeah, slide joker. We chose the blackboard over the slide joker. Slide joker would have given us an immediate boost, but blackboard gave us a smaller but still immediate boost. 2 hacks, and it ended up paying off. We were able to utilize the popcorn to get through the first ante, which might have been harder if we had taken that droll joker. We were able to capitalize on the Jolly Joker alone. Never underestimate the power of just a little bit of molds. The Jolly Joker is powerful enough to do what it needs to do. It was powerful enough to replace the popcorn. A popcorn that, when you think of popcorn, you think of the 20 molt, and I'm telling you that the 8 molt is just fine. Anyhow. We were able to get a lot of our deck fixing online. We got plenty of worlds in particular. We didn't really see any moons that I can remember, at least that were better than options. Other options like Hung Men. The Hung Men were really pivotal to getting this deck working, particularly once we got the obelisk. Perhaps I could have made it work. Having played less pairs, but I personally, as an obelisk player, my rule of thumb is if you get it in ante 4 or before, you usually want to start scaling it towards the end of ante 4, start of ante 5. Assuming that you have other pieces to support it. Assuming that we had the blue joker, which was able to support it. We had the astronomer getting us a bunch of just miscellaneous planet cards. As you can see, we really leveled up a ton, and it ended up paying off. Particularly 2-pair and high card really paid off the most. 4 of a kind even was able to one-shot several bosses. This was a fun run. We didn't get a whole lot of value generation. We got the Cartomancer. We were able to get the Gold Seal on the Cartomancer. But the closest we really had were these gold seals and these gold cards. In terms of just direct financial value generation. Yeah, that was a good run. Very good. On my favorite deck, nonetheless. All right. Peace out.